Oh boy, this is it. It is official. I am live for the first time and I am so excited to be here. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. I know Jennifer's hopping on. Anybody else that wants to join? I am doing my usual card pull for the week ahead, tuning into some mind-blowing energy that we have going on this week. So I'm just waiting to see. Ooh, Jennifer's here. And I'm going to get the ropes here because I've never done this before and I'm getting to see, oh, Colleen's here too. Let me see. It has a little message in my way. Awesome. Brittany, Cassandra, hey girl. This is awesome. I think you just created a monster, Jennifer, because this introverted extrovert has just been like hiding out like, I don't know if I should. And then it's like, once I come out, it just feels like I'm behind the camera at home. I am, but you're here. So this is awesome. Thank you. I got my daughter's lip gloss on, so, you know, fancy. So what I figured I would do is I got my decks out here that I want to use. And I'm just going to try this camera angle to see how it shows up for you guys. Not a big deal. I'll hold up the cards. I'll take a picture later. But I'm going to do my usual 5-card spread. And that's where I'm feeling into the week ahead for the collective. Seeing what comes up, kind of using Monday through Friday as placeholders. And of course, those energies can flow throughout the week. They can come up in any number of different ways for you personally. This is just tapping into collective energy. Yes, so fancy. This is cool. I can see the comments. I have another screen over here just in case, but so far so good. And I'll pull like an overarching energy. And then I have some oracle cards. So what I'll do is after I tune into the collective energies, I'll open it up for anybody. If you have any questions or areas that you want to look at for this week ahead, feel free to drop them in at any time. That way we can just check in when we're ready and I'll pull a card for you, just see how we're directed. So I'll just start shuffling. This is a new amazing deck called the Tarot of Oneness. Gorgeous. I've just used them for our month ahead readings for the Empowerment Pack group and they're amazing. They're so stunning and pretty true to the traditional tarot. Of course, you don't need to know anything about the tarot to tune in. It's the signs and symbols that speak to you. So we're connecting in with your higher self. In fact, that's what I used here before I came on. As a color healing practitioner as well, I use these color energy sprays, and this is for the higher self intuition and awareness spray that we use just to tune in with our higher self, that wise self. And that's what we're doing when we connect in with the cards. These are just cards. They're a tool. We're tuning into the tool to access our own inner knowing. And so that's where I come from with Empowered Tarot, because I'm using this tool to empower you to connect in with your inner wisdom, to glean new perspectives and insights, and just trying on different lenses to help move through different questions, areas, inquiries that we may have. We're going to talk about this week. You may or may not have heard or felt that we have a very powerful, I know that sounds like what we say about every moon, but like this time it's really true. This is a very powerful blood moon, full moon, total lunar eclipse. And I believe, definitely for our side of the world, but I believe this one is visible to everyone in the world, and it's the last time for some time that it will be. I quickly checked because I haven't quite tuned into those energies yet. This is Tuesday, we're talking about the 8th, and the eclipse is going to start at 3 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. And that shadow period goes on all the way through, I think it's like 6:50 or so that it's complete Eastern Standard Time. So for those of us, most of us that are probably going to be all whacked out over the time change as is, you may or may not have a shot at catching a glimpse. I'm going to try to get up and at least somewhere in the 5 o'clock hour, get a look. So, I am going to feel into that energy because I've talked a lot about the eclipse energies in the weeks building up. And one of the things that is important to know about eclipse energy is it really highlights for us, because the eclipse itself is an obstruction. It's literally the moon, the sun, and the earth coming into alignment, and one is getting in between the other two, and it's obstructing the light. And so when that happens, we have this energy of this disruption that comes in, and yet there is an alignment going on. So that's where we can work with that energy to look at what is in the way, what obstructions do we have coming up in our lives between us and what we are looking to manifest. Now, of course, full moons, we typically do focus on what we're releasing, what we're letting go, forgiving. So this is perfect. So this is the time to really be tuning into that energy. And that's really going to overlay this whole week. That's Tuesday's energy. But then right after that, we have the 11:11 portal. So that portal is open now, 11:1 to 11:11. It's a very powerful gateway. Again, numerologically, energetically, 11 is very connected in with one of my main guides, Archangel Metatron. That's the type of color healing that I do. And so we're very connected in with that energy right now. Really powerful stuff. So that's going to be on the 11th, which will also be this week. So not to worry. I'm taking a peek at what's flipping over. I'm going to start pulling some cards when I do this spread. Oh, yes, Kendra, number 11. Is she on? Oh, yes, she is. Hi, gorgeous. This is so fun. Monday is going to be a card that represents just the week ahead energy, just kind of getting a peek at that energy. So let's take a look. One card there. And again, we'll see how this shows up for you guys. Monday. Tuesday is a potential block or challenge. That's the usual position for the Tuesday card. Also happens to be the day of this eclipse. Also happens to be Schmelection Day and other things happening in the US. So, hey, let's see what comes up in the way of, oh yeah, I just saw Brittany, you said that. Right? So, you know, nothing to see here. Let's just get a sense of what we're talking about when it comes to potential blocks or challenges. Okay. Ooh, okay. Wednesday is a midweek blessing. And I like that because this month, the word that I was given was gratitude. And while that may seem obvious, this month of November, of harvest, it actually is coming forth in a really deep way that has to do with us really kind of going beneath the platitudes and feeling into gratitude. And so a midweek blessing this week, 11:11. This week, let's see what we get. Okay, interesting. That card came up when I quickly pulled in to pull some energies for the month of November. Spoiler alert, it is the 5 of Swords. Thursday is how are we growing? So let's see what we get there. We're not pulling out any stops. Let me see. Can you see that? No, it's the Tower. Again, you do not need to know what this means. It's just the Tower. So Friday, yay, I'm so happy you're here. Friday is a week of wrapping up the week. So let's just feel into that. And then maybe I'll pull our overarching energy after we feel into all these cards. So I'm going to stick these here. I just want to take a peek at these real quick. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So Monday, and let's see, we have 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards. Out of 5 cards, 3 are major. When that comes up, we know that that's just an indication of significant stops along the way in our journey. So we just kind of pause and feel into that energy. So here we have the sun. Beautiful energy, the sun. I don't know if this is going to come up reversed or not. Like I said, I will put a picture of all these cards in after the live. So this is an amazing version. Again, I'm seeing a lot of these cards for the first time myself. Gorgeous white horse running on a beach. Check that sand castle right there. So the sun is probably one of the most positive cards in the tarot because it really is about, it's very strong sun masculine energy. Now we're coming up this week on the lunar eclipse with the sun coming in and that obstruction that's taking place by the sun, masculine energy, right? So that's action, that's yang, that's the doing. And so the overarching energy this week is coming in around taking action, standing in our masculine energy, which we all have. So that's like yin yang energy, balancing those things out. But there's something about that sandcastle because when you think about a sandcastle and the amount of effort that it can take to build a sandcastle, and how we know that, try as we may, eventually that tide is going to come in and it is going to wash away that sandcastle. Despite all of our best efforts, all things will change, right? All things, there's an ebb and a flow. So this week is showing us beginnings and endings. There's energy around our creations, using our creative energy in a very divine, masculine, action-taking way. So I feel that coming in here right off the bat. But let's see how it folds into the rest of the cards. So our potential challenge or block is a beautiful card. It's the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups, and look at this. If you're familiar with the tarot, how gorgeous is this? A pinky swear. Now we know the Two of Cups is about partnerships. It's about, it can be romantic, it can be business partnerships, it can be connections with others, business dealings. So potential challenges this week, again, with this energy being so wonky, communication can always be impacted. Now, interesting, I said that about the sun. One thing I think is just kind of getting under the rug because of all this eclipse business. Mars is in retrograde. Mars is the planet of action. So when that's moving backwards, we're very likely to feel sluggish. We can be impacted with our energy levels. It can really kind of throw us off. And so when that happens, try and have conversation and connection with others. It can be affected, right? So there is a nod here to this week, a potential challenge or block having to do with our relationships. It is reversed. I have to remember to read your comments every now and then. They're actually not on my laptop because I guess I have to join too. Like I'd have to go to the page and make sure I was watching the live too in order to see the comments. I see them here, but I have to remember to watch. So there's a potential here for those relationships to be impacted. And also, again, that can also be in business, in work, and that type of energy as well. Let me just see. We'll get it fixed. Just that the card's reversed, right? I'm not sure how you do that, but okay. Wednesday, we have a midweek blessing. And like I said, it's the Five of Swords. Now, I call this card victory, but at what cost? It has to do with some type of a battle that goes on that somebody emerges the victor, but under less integritous means. So it's a hollow victory. And you see that here with this dry, barren earth, maybe. Hopefully you can see it. And that trophy. So it's like, yeah, you won, but look at the dead earth that you've left behind. So a blessing is sometimes being able to decide that we don't want to have a horse in that race, that it's okay for us to step out of that energy. So I can reverse it. Okay, you'll show me, because I see where I could flip my camera, but I don't want to do that. Okay, you'll show me. The only thing you can't read backwards is the words. But so, stepping away from something that's just not working for you, that's draining of your energy, that the juice is not worth the squeeze, the effort that's being put in. And so, what's happening here with potential relationships, partnerships, situations, pinky swears, right? With a situation, like I'm feeling like somebody like, yeah, pinky swear, I promise. And actually not so much. And so, that's not for everybody, but if there's some energy in that for you, this is coming up as a blessing, because it could be revealed to you that that's not going to be serving you, that it's time for you to break off that partnership or step away from that duel. It can be like a fight or a battle, but also somebody just wanting to emerge the victor, be the one who's right, be the one who gets there first. The blessing is not having any interest in entertaining that or giving it any of your energy. So that's something I'm seeing there. Now let's talk about Thursday. We have the Tower. And I always say it, I'm going to say it again. It is nothing to fear. I know it looks quite ominous, and here this is very true to the traditional. We see this literal tower burning, people falling. It's definitely got a very jolting appearance, right? This is the position that says, how are we growing? Now, similar to the sandcastle, something I've been saying and getting for at least several months, but I really feel all year, there's been a theme around checking our foundations, right? Where do we build our house? If we build it on the sand, right? Perhaps this tower, and it can represent physical, it can represent energetic, the foundations that are supporting this are no longer serving you. There's something there that needs to be repaired, that needs to be removed. I had this whole thing. I get a lot of analogies, and some of them make me like, should I say that or not? But it was about the game of Jenga, okay? And you know, if you're familiar with that game and you have that tower, right? And you know, you have to strategically remove that piece real gingerly from the bottom. I'm sorry about the glare. So like, if we're going into our foundation and it's no longer sturdy, it's not supporting, and I got to go in there and I have to like really extract a piece without the whole thing falling down. There's pieces in there that need to come out, right? This is foundation stuff. So things that relationships and agreements are built on, things that maybe, again, used to sustain us, but are no longer doing so. And so how we're growing is getting better at, oh, now I'm getting operation, the game operation, with like going in there with the tweezers and like trying to get out the pieces, right? Going in there and extracting that piece with like precision without the whole thing coming down. Sometimes the whole thing has to come down. So tower energy is just knowing that, again, the tides are going to change, right? They're going to rise and fall. That sandcastle isn't going to stay forever. But what happens? The sandcastle gets destroyed, right? And it gets brought back into the ocean, and it comes anew to build something new another time, you know? So there's an energy there that has to do with understanding the ebb and flow and surrendering to that, so that you're able to have be in the driver's seat of that rebuilding process, to be a part of that rebuilding process as opposed to it happening to you. So now Friday we have, and I see Miss Sharon is on here. I will tell you, as soon as I saw this card, I thought of you. This is a gorgeous deck. I don't think you heard me say it's called the Tarot of Oneness. And take a look at the Strength card. It is a gorgeous bear. However, you see here this hand that is gently holding the bear's face. The Strength card, another major arcana card, is about taming the beast within. It's about those parts of ourselves, yep, it's a bear, that are more wild, right? Those parts of ourselves, perhaps that ego, more primal base of us, that we have, again, our higher self coming in to help bring that to heal, to balance, you know, when to come from a more fierce place and when to come from a more gentle place. You see that hand, hopefully, that's holding that bear. They're both you, right? It's both you, because the sun energy, also very masculine, action. This is the Strength card, which is a Leo card. So this is also very much in its action, masculine energy. So that's flanking the reading. That's Monday and Friday energy, how we start the week and how we end the week. We are getting stronger and more balanced from all the imbalance. We have to have this time that's highlighting what's in the way, what are the obstructions, keeping us from really embodying that energy. So that's what I'm feeling coming in just right off the cuff. I can go ahead and I'll pull an oracle card just to get a little punctuation mark, as I like to call it, for our collective energies. But if anybody would like me to pull a card for you for the week ahead, if you have anything specific that you would like to know about for the week ahead, we can go ahead and pull a card for you to see what comes up. Okay, so feel free to throw that in there. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. I said this before to other people. Now I'm saying it live on here. I like to support independent creators of decks. So I happen to like help crowdfund a couple of decks, and they all came this week. And it was like 4 decks arrived, and it was like, this old thing, Like, yeah, I've had these. What are you talking about? So I decided to get out two of them. So this is another new one. This is called Raise Your Vibration. It's by Kyle Gray, who's a much more well-known deck creator, perhaps. He has gorgeous angel cards and oracle cards. So we're going to feel into this. It's like a nice little mantra. They're pretty cool. They're tied into our chakras. And so the book is really rich. So if I want to feel into that to enhance it, I will. But let's just pull one card here to get a little message for us to go with these collective energies. Okay. Oh, that's cool. You can bring somebody on video. There's all kinds of things we could do with this now. I love it. And I would love to hear that from you guys. Like, what would you like to see in terms of cards? Because I want it to be something that is impactful for you, you know, to even like, if I'm talking like way over your head and you're like, what are you talking about? You know, we can dial it back. If you're like, yeah, I know Major Arcana, you know, so always feel free to just let me know what you'd like to see because it's all fun. Okay, let's take a look. All right, Jennifer's going to get a card for her busy week ahead. Yes, not to be confused with any other week. All right, let's get our oracle card and then I'll start pulling. Ooh, you know what? I knew this card was going to come up. I saw this card. It's backwards. It says choose kindness and it has gorgeous green hearts. This is connected in with the heart chakra. And I am feeling this card in terms of this energy, right, up against this energy. So here we had our card of, you know, victory, but at what cost, you know, throwing it all to the, and you know, I just want to win, I just want to get there, versus bringing in that balance. So it feels like choosing kindness in those dealings with others, but I felt more like in how you're speaking to yourself, in your own self-talk, and being gentle, because I know I have, and several of you who I've worked with might know that I always say my alter ego is Mariska. You know, that's like my ego self, my lower vibrational self. And sometimes, like, she's mean to me, like the stuff she says. And so I feel like this is about kindness with yourself, how you're speaking to yourself, checking in with that bear, right? Bringing them into balance with using kindness. And I like to say, thinking about how you hold space for other people, are you doing the same for yourself? Would you speak to a friend, a family member, a coworker, anybody, the way that you speak to yourself? Is that how you would hold space for them? So if you're having a tough week, you're busy, it's crazy, you don't feel well, all those things. Oh, Emily, I see you. Hi, girl. I hope you're not driving anymore. Then, you know, choose kindness and gentleness with yourself is what I'm feeling there. So let's go ahead and I'll see here. Let me look here and see what I missed. How do I see that? To go back and see what I missed. Because I saw Jennifer's question. I saw somebody else had one. But I'm not sure. Can I scroll back in the comments, Jennifer? I don't want to like mess anything up. Oh, I can. I just have to be careful where I'm sticking my fingers. All right, this one's going to be for Jennifer's busy week ahead. So I'm feeling in for Jennifer. You know, let me just spray the higher self energy spray again. Which again, this is all energetic. So while it is amazing and it smells amazing, it's not necessary because it's the energy that I'm holding. And as I set the intentions with the cards for you, that energy is infused into the intentions with the cards. Okay, so we're feeling into a card for Jennifer's busy week ahead, and we're factoring in all the cards that have already come up and how that energy might be coming forward for you. Let me get a card for Jennifer. Yeah, okay. It's the Magician. Of course it is. I haven't seen this version yet. I'm sorry for the glare. What an amazing card. So, I mean, you kind of are the Magician, making your magic over there, just cranking out the magic. So the Magician says you have all the tools you need You just have to have a willingness to use them, to practice them, to hone your craft. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. That's okay. It's all part of making the magic. Along with your tools that you use over there to make your magic, there's an additional message here about you being open to receive help, right? To receive how you can, and these are, I believe this is going to be like tied into all the elements here, but it's like pulling from all the different ways that you have to get her done, like all the things. And so sometimes that does mean having to be open to receiving and putting the hands out to say, you know, this is what I can do today. This isn't going to work, and be able to move those tools around and adapt, you know, and that's something that I know you try to practice anyway, but I think especially this week, factoring into all of this energy that's coming in, that it's important for you to, you know, be open to digging into that toolbox and using maybe some other lesser used tools if any of this energy is really getting you, you know, like if you're really feeling that. So I would say definitely about being open. I mean, we can see that. You've got it. It's here in the palm of your hand. Just reach out and use it, but also allow others to help you to make your magic, right? It takes a village, right? So that's what I have coming up for you. So now let's see. I'm going to see about, I think, Deborah. Yes, a card for your week, Deborah. Okay. Let me go ahead and feel into that for you. Card for Deborah. Let's see. Card for Deborah. Ooh, I like this one too. You've got the Eight of Wands. Now, this is a card of action, of busyness, like a lot going on. I like to call this one like a lot of irons in the fire, a lot of things picking up. So you may already know that you have a busy week ahead. You have a lot on your plate. But the other thing that I'm seeing this version as, because it's really beautiful, again, I don't know if it comes up here. It's like you've taken off and that stuff is in your rear view mirror, like stuff that you're moving on from and picking up speed to move forward into the horizon. So there's this energy of like rounding the curve on moving forward from something and then taking action. And when you think about the action-oriented cards that we got here for the collective energy, there's a nod for you then to that sun energy and also the strength card. So sort of holding your week on either end is that action-oriented. Now, that being said, this can also be sort of like the ramp up before you take action. So it might be that you're coming into a busier time coming up, if that's not already the case for you. But that's what I'm seeing here is the Eight of Wands is just quick, fast, rapid movement. But again, a lot of irons in the fire could mean that like you just have a lot going on in a lot of different areas of your life. So it just may be that you're on the move a lot this week, especially because of how it's depicted here, like literally on the road in your car, like going around from place to place, or just really spending a lot of time in transit. But activity picking up is what I'm feeling there. Now, I want to see if I can tell if I scroll down, because I did scroll up on the comments. Brittany, I just want to make sure Deborah didn't have anything to say. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Oh, good. Okay, Deborah. Thank you so much. You said that's perfect for you. That's great. Okay, so next we have Brittany. Brittany wants to know about being successful for your week ahead. Oh, Kendra, you wanted to know if you get to know, if you have anything, we're looking at this week's energy. So if there's anything that you want a card pulled on for this week that you have going on, that's what we were looking at. Gosh, I wish I could just like read all these comments. I want to just find Brittany's real quick. This is going to be fun afterwards to go through all this. Thank you guys so much. Brittany. Okay. if you will be successful in your goal this week. Okay, so you've got some specific goals going on. Let's see what comes up for you. What does Brittany need to know about her goals this week and being successful? Ooh, okay. You've got the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is another major arcana card, and it is about the wheel turns, right? These different seasons of our life. It's sort of, and it usually does indicate a fortuitous upswing. So you're moving into a new energy, and it is going to be successful, or it's going to be positive. So what that means is, this is where it gets tricky. You may have a goal for this week, right? Remember, this is a week of obstructions, of things getting in the way. And so if something does get in the way, or if you're very fixed on how your goal is going to happen, and the other players that are involved, like children, don't get the memo, then something can come along that feels like it's derailing you, right? But ultimately, everything that's coming up is coming up to show you something, to reflect something back. So that's like, you know, if this is definitely a very positive card. So it is saying that, like, yes, as you move through this labyrinth maze of the tree of life, this is a beautiful version, that twists and turns and around the corner, oh, wasn't expecting that, that set me back, getting better at being able to navigate all of that, so that in the end, you're learning as you go ways to work towards your goal despite all of the twists and turns. So there's an energy of that too. But just, and when I say seasons of life as well, so it's like you're in a place where you're getting your bearings with your role in your life at this time and all of the different factors and figuring out, you know, you in there versus all your many hats and roles. And so that's all part of the journey. It's all part of where you're at in a particular time. So that's always something to kind of like, when you feel thrown for a loop, or you feel like, you know, why isn't this working out, or whatever it may be, that you could take a step back and take a look and say, well, what is this showing up to show me? What is this coming up to help reroute me in some way? So that's what I'm seeing there for you. But again, Wheel of Fortune is, and I have versions of this card that I love that have like fuzzy dice. So it's like, take a chance, roll the dice, like it being a good time for you to try something, or, you know, reaching for a goal. So good stuff there. So that's a good one. I know some cards fell down, so let me just make sure I have everything in the deck, and I will check to see what I missed. Okay. Jennifer got her sign. Oops, Sharon's working on new creations. Yes, you are. I've seen an amazing peek at what you've been creating over there, Miss Sharon. Awesome, awesome. So a card for you this week as you continue working on your new creations in the ebb and flow of all of this tumultuous energy. And the thing, remember I said Mars retrograde, energy levels. Ooh, Wheel of Fortune just popped up again. So note to self, that's coming in to peek at you too. A card for Sharon on working on her new creations this week. Ooh, okay, Seven of Pentacles. So Pentacles is earth energy, right? And this is actually a card of patience and planning, of seeds that have been planted, work that you've been doing, creations that you've been working on. Those seeds have been germinating, and we're starting to see some growth here. This is the card where you pause and step back and take a look at everything that you have created, all that has come to pass, and appreciate you. Remember, choosing kindness for how much you've already gotten done, right? And I'm thinking like literally too, like all the work that you've been having to do with your literal plants to prepare for the season ahead. So this is a card that tells you to like really take a second to appreciate that and recognize that about how much you've already created. And also identifying that the pauses and the resting is part of the creation process. you are creating even when resting, because you must rest in order to rejuvenate yourself, right? The wheel turns. There is a time and a season for everything. You got that wink from the Wheel of Fortune. For you, it's talking about those seasons of life, seasons of the year, literally, like in the work that you were doing to prepare for the seasons. And so as you work on your creations this week, just being very in tune with your body, with your rhythms, how you're feeling, and resting when you need to, pausing, and again, having that appreciation for how much you've already done. Even when we don't see the finished product yet, it's still there underground preparing, right? So on the other side of this is a lot of abundance coming in. So it's all just a part of being in tune with those cycles. So that's what I have for you. And now let's see, making sure I'm not making a mess here. Okay, after Miss Sharon, see if we have any others. Kendra was checking on. Yeah. Ooh, who has the, oh, you have the Magician on tattooed on you? That's awesome. Cassandra. Let me see if you asked for a card. Oh, you're going to rest. Sweet dreams. Emily Wolcott, this is the Tarot of Oneness. I don't know if you missed my announcement, but I had a few decks arrive this week, you know. And so this is one of them. I had supported this artist. Her name is Robin Voicey, and she created this deck and published it herself. And it was one of those like crowdfunding things. It's gorgeous. Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure. Deborah, we got you. This is the time of night where it's been getting harder and harder for me. I think I got everybody. Oh, Kendra wants an insight on a move. Okay, Kendra. Let me take a sip here. Okay. So we're going to get a card for Kendra regarding a move. And again, if anybody else wants one, I don't want to take too much time for everybody. It feels like it's an hour later than it really is. But I really appreciate everybody joining me for this first run. I'm loving it. Like I said, I think you created a monster, Jennifer. Let's get a card here for Kendra. Card for Kendra and a move. What does she need to know? You've got the Lovers. And I happen to know that this deck has two Lovers cards. One shows what appears to be a masculine energy, and the other one shows a feminine energy. And you got the masculine energy. They look just the same, but there's a different silhouette there. So the Lovers card is about a choice, right? It always denotes a choice, a duality. And number one, again, masculine meaning action. So like taking action, taking a step. Would be a hit there for me in regards to a move. But the other thing that's a little interesting about this is, so the traditional is very connected into like Garden of Eden energy. It's kind of like this message that says that the idea that the Garden of Eden is some place that we're trying to get to or go to, when actually it's already here. It has to do with like our choice and how we navigate those energies and how we see it. So that could also be a nod to your current surroundings, taking a look at, you know, balancing out, again, the choice between staying and making my garden here or moving, taking action and moving. So this would be a good week for you to feel into, again, what are the obstructions? You know very clearly what you want for yourself in your life, what you want for your children, what you're building, right? So what is in the space between you and those things? And really focusing on clearing and clearing. And I know you're thinking that you've been doing that, right? Well, here's what Eclipse Energy has been saying. It's saying that the Eclipse Energy is highlighting all those sneaky pockets. Last week, it was all about the spider. Ooh, Kendra, it was all about the spider webs. It was all about the spider energy of the webs. It's like those sneaky corners, the cobwebs that need to be swept clear. And it's almost like little things that are just like lodged in there that we could have sworn that this house had been exorcised, and yet there's still something in there. So this is the week to really focus on what are those obstructions? What are those things between you and your Garden of Eden where you wish to go? So that's what I'm feeling for you. And again, the fact that it is the masculine version of the card does denote taking action for sure of some kind. So that's what I have for you. And love you. So let me see. Hi, Erin. Oh, hey, Dina. Let me scroll back. Hi, Colleen. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, I think that's all the questions that were in there. For those who just joined, I just did a reading for the week ahead energy. I know this will be posted later on the replay. I'm going to take a picture of the cards. That's giving us like a collective check-in for this week. And then if you wanted a card pulled for you, I can pull a card for you for something this week if you'd like some insight into something. Action, right? You're welcome. Okay, so if anybody else wants me to pull a card, you're welcome to throw it in there. Let me know if you want a card. I'll wait and see if anything else comes up. Yeah, this is a crazy, crazy week. There's so much going on, and the energies are really intense. So again, choose kindness. Really tuning into just being gentle with yourself, resting when you need to rest, take action when you feel compelled, but again, we're doing it with kindness. All those important energies. Hey, Kristen. That's my girl. This is so fun. I love it. And that's one of the things, while I wait to see if anybody has any questions. Something about, yes, I know, the energy now is crazy and intense. We're all feeling it. And a lot of people are having physical, I mean, you might not know this. I lost my voice last Friday, and it was like, are you kidding me? Like, I do monthly empowerment packs, and that's where people join me for the month, and we do 3 readings throughout the month and other stuff. But like, really important is the first of the month is when I tune in for your month ahead energy for you personally, right? And so, you know, there's a process to that, and I was like, I couldn't speak. And that's necessary. So it was another nod to like, really? Like, this is going to hit me now. Physical symptoms for sure. So a lot of people are feeling under the weather. Jennifer, I know you woke up this morning with a thing. So that's par for the course. And then, of course, just energy levels. And like I said, and Dina, I was saying this about Mars retrograde, because I feel like that's not really getting as much press because of eclipse energy. But Mars, I know. I literally have Ricolas in my pocket right now. Eclipse energy, Mars retrograde, planet of action. Here we are, taking off. Deborah's got her eight of wands. She's in the car. She's ready to rock. And then it's like, backwards. And that's the thing with the whole, you know, Brittany's got her goals. She's ready to take off. And then, no. You know, like, so again, we know about retrograde energy, nothing to fear, right? We're being mindful, not fearful. So it's just being aware of these natural rhythms that are streaming onto the planet. And again, being in alignment, being in a receiving capacity to like surrender to those energies and be present. Like, you're not going to build your sandcastle during high tide, right? That wouldn't make sense. We're not going to build a sandcastle during high tide. So we're going to be present with what is so that we can, you know, be moving in ebb and flow with those energies for sure. Oh, Billy Joe, I just saw you pop in. Yes, ebb and flow for show. Yeah. All right, you guys are crossing over into when I might get punchy, so I'm just saying that could happen. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody who wants a card pull. So do let me know if you would like a card pulled. I didn't start singing yet. I've been holding back on singing in my readings because my voice. But yeah, so, you know, feeling all kinds of feels. Rest when you can, you know, again, just like any other full moon, this is a time to tune into what am I releasing? What am I letting go? What am I forgiving? And again, we've got this little pinky swear card for Tuesday. Maybe I should just say for some people who didn't see in the beginning, this is a potential block or challenge of the week. Our partnerships, relationships, connection with others. This is depicting a pinky swear. So promises, those types of things. So we have that energy coming in to look at as well. All right, Billy Joe would like a card. No, you're not too late at all. So we did the week ahead energies, and then this is just kind of like, yeah, Erin, I got you. If you have anything specific this week that you want me to focus on with the card pull, or we'll just pull you a card for the week. So let's see what comes up, Billy. You got something jumping right out. The moon. I'm just going to show it to you. I wasn't ready to pull the card yet, but okay, that's gorgeous. I was saying this is a new deck, and I just used it for the Empowerment Pack readings, but I haven't seen every card. I haven't seen nearly every card. And so some of these cards are coming up and surprising me too. So let's get a card for Billy. Card for Billy this week. Energy for Billy. All right, girl. You got the 8 of Swords. Now check this out. This is a pretty cool version. We saw this a couple times on the altar already. So the 8 of Swords is that card that has to do with having a limited perspective, right? Seeing things from a certain vantage point. And in the traditional tarot, the figure is blindfolded and appear to be bound. And so there's a perception, there's a feeling of options being limited, right? Only being able to do so much. And yet we, the viewer, can see that perhaps it would not be that hard to wriggle free of that binding. So 8 of Swords is always asking us to take a look at things through a new, wider lens. So anything that's coming up this week that's challenging you, tricky situations or things that you're not sure how to navigate, this is an opportunity to step back and take a look and see perhaps a different perspective, another way for you to get your way out of that, right? And I'm sure we've seen together before the Light Seers version, which I love, and that's where she's looking in the mirror and we can see her. She's beautiful, she is free, and yet what she sees in the mirror is that she's bound and blindfolded. And so that's telling us that limited perception, right? So there's that energy there of breaking free. Now, what those feathers on the ground are taking me into here, it's making me think about this card, the 5 of Swords. We were saying before you came on, Wednesday's position is about a midweek blessing. This is the card that says, victory, but at what cost? And this is literally making me feel like a bird fight, like birds that were fighting and like the feathers are everywhere all over the ground. And it's like, out of here, clearing myself of that energy because it's not worth it. That prize sitting out there in that dry desert, like, isn't worth this energy. So that's what I'm feeling for you. That's a blessing, right? So again, eclipse coming up to show us, highlight for us those sneaky pockets, those things where there's a little bit of stubborn energy in there that needs clearing. This could come up for you in anywhere. This could come up for you at work. This could come up at home, in your life, just in any old way. It's an invitation to see a wider perspective, to see something having other solutions than maybe what meets the eye. So think about that in terms of, and I said this before too, like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like, energy that we're putting into something and it's just really not yielding results that are productive of our energy. And we may think that we're beholden to staying in this fight, but there's a wider perspective to be seen. That's what I'm getting there for you. Okay. So let me see, Erin, you wanted a card. It is a beautiful deck. Yes, Erin, I will pull a card for you. And we're just going to feel into this week ahead for you. By the way, what I do when I'm knocking, that's like clearing the energy in the deck for me. I was taught that by my teacher, and it's just part of my process. It's symbolic of just kind of knocking and clearing the energy because we're clearing it to pull a card for you now. You're going to get an aha moment this week. Yes. And you're going to be like, free. Yes, you are. And I don't know if you saw that the Thursday energy was the Tower. But this was how am I growing though? So it's like when we get that, and the Tower can also speak of epiphanies, aha moments. It actually shows the Tower being struck by lightning. So that's like getting a jolt of something becoming clear. The Tower does not need to be something negative or disruptive in terms of bad energy. It's something that's transformative. It's something that is just illuminating. So perfect that you said that, because I should have mentioned that that is another way that you can receive the Tower energy, would be through like a bright idea, an aha moment, something that's been holding you captive and bound for some time, all of a sudden becoming clear of another pathway forward. And that can apply to anybody. Living situations, any kind of things that come up for people that you've been thinking about, new pathways becoming clear. Yes. Hi, Regina. Yes, the Tower card is amazing. I know. I love a good Tower moment too, Kristen. All right. This card is for Erin. Tower. It's all good. It's all part of the process. I posted some pictures in the group this week of the insane rainbows and orbs that have been on the altar. And so that message has been about, even when it does seem to be like everything's breaking loose and everything's chaotic and all over the place, a la Tower moment, that sun is always up there shining, even if the clouds are blocking, right? That rainbow is there. So there's been that energy too. All right, this one's for Erin. If anybody else would like a card, please feel free to throw that in there in the comments. Card for Erin. Ooh, you got the Hierophant. Oh, you guys with the major arcana cards. So this is the Hierophant. Ooh, I love this version. Open book. So the Hierophant is, and Erin, I think you're familiar with tarot, the teacher card, right? The spiritual guru. It's about leveling up energy is how I see it. So it's like, literally you could be hitting the books, like hitting the books on something, whether it's in the form of like a class or higher education, a workshop. It's like mentor, mentee energy, but also, you know, that could be you in the position. Oh, you're showcasing this week? I missed that. That's awesome. So this is a time for you to stand out there and shine and share what you have to share. So you are the teacher. You are the one who's instructing and showing and opening up the book to show this is your chapter in the book this week. That's awesome. Isn't this gorgeous, Billy? I know. And look at those two keys. So I love the Hierophant energy because it really is also a reminder to connect in with our audience. Who is our audience, right? So who are we teaching? Who are we sharing something with? And sort of connecting in a way that helps you deliver the message to whomever is receiving it in a way that will resonate with them, that they'll understand. So I don't know what you're showcasing. I didn't see it, but like depending on what it is and like what level of, you know, the way that you share and how you explain the value in your, you know, sharing your gifts and opening up to share that. I'm just getting a little nod to tell you about my connection with the Hierophant, which is like a teaching energy of like knowing who your audience is so that you can share with them in a way that they will understand and receive your magic and all the things that you have to share. So that's really beautiful. Yeah, it's really, this deck is just awesome. So there you go, and good luck, and I'll be tuning in for sure. Okay, I think Colleen, yes, one for Colleen. So let me go ahead and shuffle for Colleen this week to see what she needs to know, what's coming up along with the collective energy. Card for Colleen. Here. Ooh, that was for you. Oh, it's beautiful. Ready? The World. This is this deck's version of the World. Wow. So another major arcana card. This group is having a big week, an intense week, a momentous week. The World is the culmination of all. It's the final major arcana card. It's card 21. You've come all the way through a cycle. It signifies the ending of one cycle and a new beginning. I mean, the symbolism of the metamorphosis, the change, the transformation. And so that is just gorgeous. I'm trying to remember what card you got this for your month ahead that is making me think of this. But it's just a beautiful energy of like an end, you know, being that this butterfly energy is coming in, we get reminded of that process of metamorphosis, right? So that time that's spent in the cocoon, in the chrysalis, where it's dark and the butterfly literally has to turn to mush before they emerge, the beautiful butterfly, that there's that transformation process where, kind of like what I was saying to Sharon earlier about, even in the resting, even in the pause, you're still transforming. You're still creating, because that is part of it's a necessary part of the process. The tide has to rise in order to fall. So I might want to build my sandcastle right now, but I might have to be in tune with the energies of what's ending and what's beginning, and being in tune with that. So there's like a little nod there to that as well. So I have but the world is another, like the Wheel of Fortune, like, you know, the sun. I mean, this is a beautiful card of fulfillment and culmination and embarking on new beginnings. So beautiful for you. I love that. Okay. Oh my gosh, Colleen. Look, can you see that? It's a blue jay. She knows what that means. A blue jay has shown up outside my window squawking every time I've connected with Colleen about her energy this month, like literally during her reading. And then today when I went and I was messaging her, there was a blue jay outside my window. And now this deck has a blue jay in it. That's awesome. I love it. Regina, were you next? Oh, Erin, you got other stuff going on too. Yes, I wanted to say that, Erin, that I felt like you were, I was about to say mentor, mentee, and I was going to say, like, sometimes you're the trainee and sometimes you're the trainer, and I felt like you were the teacher. You were the one, so that's perfect. Okay, Regina. Can you believe it, Colleen? That's crazy. I didn't even know there was a blue jay in this deck. That's awesome. This is why I love this so much. Okay. All right, Regina, let's get a card for you this week. Navigating the ebbs and flows, right? Being present with what is. Gratitude. I said that earlier, that that's the word of the month, and trying to sort of like come up with something that we're grateful for every day. 3 things, right? Regina's been doing that with me, and I'm behind. I have to do 2 days. I didn't do yesterday and today, just as a mindful exercise. Regina's been really good about it. And it's funny because they're kind of like clues to what people did that day. Because like I would have put like comfy pants. I think, Regina, you had like pulled pork one day. Like, it's like, ooh, I know what she had for lunch. So I love it. The synchronicities are off the charts. And that's the thing. Like I always say that spiritual breadcrumbs, that's my word for those little winks, those little signs. And it's like you tune into them and then you just get more and more. And then Billy, she coined the whole, like, it's a loaf of bread. Like it's not just a breadcrumb anymore. It's like the whole loaf. And that's totally how it feels. All right. Let's get a card here for Regina. Ooh, you got the Action of Cups. This is the Knight of Cups. And really cool about this deck, it doesn't use people. It has like hands and feet, and in the court cards, which typically denote an actual knight on a horse, it has the silhouette of the knight on the horse. But it's tuning into the vibration of what that, because some people get hung up on court cards, like, because it usually indicates a person. Were you going to say that, the whole loaf? So instead, and we get hung up on like, is it me? Is it somebody else? Like, who is it? I don't know anybody like that. This is the energy of the Knight of Cups is action, taking action. Cups are water. Cups are connected in with the heart chakra. So it's actually really soft. It's actually kind of like the romantic in the tarot. So it's kind of like chivalrous and like, I feel like it's a little nod to you to like maybe treat yourself this week a little bit with something decadent, something just for you. It's in some way to work that in there. But I also feel like, you know, you are definitely ready, poised, this pathway. And it's almost like this is feeling like the 11/11 portal, 11/11 energy. So let me think, what day is that? Tuesday is the 8th. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Friday energy, 11/11 portal energy. And so, you know, moving towards that, taking action. And the action that you are to take is in the realm of self-care, in the realm of treating yourself in some way, is how that feels. It's a really soft energy connecting in with your heart chakra. Remember, I don't know if you saw when I pulled this card, this was kind of like our punctuation mark. I know it's backwards. It says choose kindness, and it's connected in with the heart chakra. And it was feeling like it's about you. Kindness for yourself, being kind to yourself, gentle with yourself. And we say like, how do we hold space for others, and checking in on how you're holding space for you. So if you were treating someone else to something versus yourself, and sort of putting yourself in that position of treating yourself with kindness, but also with something like sweet is what I'm feeling there for you. Okay. Awesome. Okay, let me see if anybody else wanted a card. I won't keep everybody too much longer. It's nearly bath time up in here. So does anybody else want a card? I don't think I missed anybody, but I just want to make sure. And I am hoping to tune in this week too for the 11/11 portal. I want to put together the Eclipse Part 2 video. My Part 1 is pinned at the top of the group. And that was sort of like a presentation I put together to talk about eclipse season ahead of the last moon phase, the new moon partial solar eclipse. And so we pulled some collective cards just for that energy, which has covered the last 2 weeks. So that's there, and it has a lot information about working with eclipse energy. So you can always check that out. I'm hoping to do the Part 2. Just it's sneaking up here because it's basically tomorrow, and then Tuesday is that eclipse. So I will see, using my magician energy, when I can get to it, what I can do. But my plan is to have that together as well ahead of Thriving Thursday for sure. And then tuning in for 11/11. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Thank you, Billy Joe. I know this was like a huge step for me, but it's just kind of silly because it's such an awesome way to communicate with you guys in real time. Sometimes the process behind the scenes of like producing things is so like laborious, and then it's like, you know, this is like done. We did it already. We already felt into the energies. It's done. It's out there. So I love that. So I just really appreciate everybody joining. If you have any questions, if you're watching it on the replay, any questions about any of the cards, anything about the process, anything at all, just throw it in the comments, and I'm happy to connect with you. This is obviously something I'm passionate about. So I love to talk tarot. I saw today somebody was studying tarot, and I was like, ooh, I love that. That makes me excited. Yes, thank you. And I'm so happy you nudged me nicely. You didn't push me, but you gave me a little squeeze, and I thank you for that, among many other things. Like I wouldn't even be here talking in front of this camera if it wasn't for you. So I thank you so much, and I love you. All right, guys, should I just pull one final card? Let's see. Erin, yes, awesome. Yeah, it's one of those things too, like studying in a book is good, and definitely there's so many different ways to learn the tarot, so it really just depends on what resonates with you. And it's hard to be like, I'm studying, but I'm also not going to get caught up in my head and get too worried about right, wrong, certain ways of being, like to stay flexible. So that's a little fine art to balance when you're trying to learn something new and you're thinking like, what's the right way? What's the wrong way? And I have found personally with me that there isn't really. It's about using the cards intuitively and finding what resonates for you. So it's an awesome journey though. It really is. And the more you learn those signs and symbols, the more that those cards will just start to talk to you, because you look at them and you're like, oh yeah, like that makes total sense. And you start to connect with them, but you're building your own language. You're building your own vocabulary when it comes to. So it's great to have the books and the videos and the how-tos to get you started, lay that foundation. But it's so fun because it's so unique too, just the way. And that's another thing. If any of these cards came up and you got something with it, or it, you know, you have a certain connection with the Tower card, or with the Sun or Strength or anything, share in the comments and let people know, because I always love to hear new ways of looking at the cards for sure. How about I pull one last oracle card? That's what I'll do. We'll pull one more of these. Raise your vibration. Final card for us tonight for this group. And if you tune in later, it's for you too. So again, time is not linear. Energy is here when you come upon these messages. They're meant for you. So these messages are for anyone who tunes in at any time. So let's get a final card. We got two. Wow, they must both be connected in, I'm guessing, to the third eye, probably because of their color. Because like I said, this deck is new and it's connected in with all like the chakras. And it's actually really cool because it goes into other chakras other than the 7. In Metatron Color Healing, I work with the 12 chakra body. And so this deck includes the Earth Star chakra. It includes the Stellar Gateway and the Soul Star chakra. So it's really cool. But let's see what this says. I am protected by Source. I clear my energy field. Okay, I'm being reminded that I put something here to use if needed. And look at the colors. This happens all the time in readings. We get a theme, we get a color scheme. This is spiritual protection. And so in this time, even the water's purple, in this intense energy, with those waves coming in to snatch your sandcastle, this is a reminder that you are protected and to clear your energy field. So when we talked about those sneaky cobwebs and those little things in the recesses that we're clearing out, just a reminder and kind of sealing in the energy with, you are protected. And this is spiritual protection. And so whatever practice resonates with you, whatever you lean into in terms of a higher guidance, it can be your higher self, angels, guides, ancestors, anything that resonates for you, that you're calling in and helping to sort of shepherd you through this energy, because it is very intense. And so remembering that we are protected. And as rough as it can get, or as, you know, as cloudy as it can seem, and we're not sure where the sun is, it's here. It's overlighting the whole week. So remember that that sun is still shining, even when we are in the throes of the thunder and the lightning of the Tower energy. It's all perspective. It's all about, you know, being present with what is, stopping to look at that bigger picture of what this thing might be showing up to show me, to illuminate, to bring forward from me, to clear from me, so that I can move forward with my goals. I can move forward with my creations. And recognize, again, I can't overstate that this period is part of the creating. It is part of moving towards your goals, even as frustrating as it can sometimes be. So I will see here if I didn't see anything else in here. So I will get ready to sign off, you guys. This was so fun. I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight. I would love to hear your feedback of how you would like to see and work and interact with the cards. I have decks for days. So like if there's a theme, if there's a thing, anything, there's so much happening in the coming months to take a look at as far as we move through wrapping up one year into another, solstice, Yule. There's so much going on. So lots to chat about. I'd love to hear from you. I thank you all so much. And I am sending you all so much love and many blessings. See you soon.